Ankor barrier, and this place floods with the least of rainfall. Today we are here as a first-hand step towards finding the problem and finding solution to the problem. Look at that. This is all plastics that were washed here because of our indiscriminate littering that we continue to do in our various communities. Today I am going to tell you a story, and the story is the fact that these pillars that you see are not just any pillars. These pillars are those that are holding the highway. Let me also remind you that this is the highway that connects Accra to Kumasi, and for as long as there's always some level of water stagnant right here soaking the pillars, then it clearly means that we are going to lose the pillars in the future, because you know that concrete are not interested in getting soaked in water. But unfortunately, this is the harsh reality out of Ankor barrier. We are here basically as BuzstopBoys, as volunteers, trying to find proactive ways of dealing with some of our problems that we are facing as a nation. And allow me to tell you about these pillars. For how long are they going to get soaked in these waters? Because as long as they get soaked in water, it weakens the concrete and it subjects the whole road to destruction. Come with me, let's have a look at something right here under this highway. Before you assume that I am somewhere inside a certain river or whatsoever, I am not. I am right here under the Kumasi, Amasamai, Achimota, and this specifically is of Ankor barrier. And you know that this place floods with a list of rainfall. So we are basically trying to understand why there is so much water every time right here. But before we do so, concrete, right? Yes, sir. These concrete you see, or these pillars you see, are not just pillars standing here, but these are the pillars that is holding firm the highway. You know, this is the road that connects Accra to Kumasi, and this is the highway. Unfortunately, it gets soaked in water for as long as it rains or it doesn't even rain. There's always some amount of water soaking the concrete, and that is why we are here basically to understand why it keeps happening this way. Because I know that the moment the concrete gets soaked in water, it weakens the concrete, and that is the danger we are trying to prevent. Look at that. So if we don't do anything between now and now, then in future, these concretes are going to get weaker and will eventually affect the strength of the road, and will eventually lead to the collapse of this amazing highway that has been constructed or built for Ghana to aid or to make transportation and traveling much easier, efficient, and faster. This is the whole mess we are currently facing. It's a bigger problem, and we are here. Tell us in the comment section, what do you think can be done to prevent the water from staying right here beneath the highway, to also to prevent you and I from getting, handcuffed or getting hooked or getting catched up in the mayhem someday. It's quite risky, because I don't know where the holes are. But then I'm trying to make a few steps to the next pillar so we can talk about what is happening at the far end there. So stay with me, don't go nowhere. Remember, this is BuzstopBoys. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, because this is how we win as a nation. This is how we protect the environment and safeguard our nation. Stay with me. Let's journey to the water. Wow, but have you also seen that the color of the water here is different from the color of the water here? This side of the water looks more black and it kind of smells, meaning that It has been here for ages. Only God knows how long these waters have been here. But bro, my concern is that look at the height. This is the height, meaning that it floods to cover up to this point. And that is how much the concrete or the pillar gets weakened by the day. So what exactly can we do to prevent this choking and eventually to expand the lifespan of this very village right here? It's quite crazy. Look at that. I don't know how far the cameras can take you. You can see there's a heap of trash packed at the far end. And these are all you and I, our collective activities contributing to messing up the planet and eventually coming back and hurting us every day. And we kept complaining. So we are basically here asking you to be a bit more responsible, because these plastics do not decompose. And as long as you throw them away indiscriminately, they will always become or turn out to be a problem to all of us. Look at that, all these plastics thrown indiscriminately, get blown by the air, get washed, and this is how far our country is drowning in filth. Allow me to tell you that we need independence, but this independence is an independence from filth. We need filth independence. But that is one thing that is drowning this country to the ground, is filth. Remember, it is said that cleanliness is next to godliness, and it's really, really true. Looking at the level of filth and the stinks that is coming out of this underbridge or this part of the road, it's really sickening. But hey, do you also know that in some part of Africa, like Rwanda, they have these same highways, and beneath the highway, they are beautifully structured. There are a lot of paintings telling amazing stories, basically kept clean and serene. Unfortunately, Ghana, my motherland, but this is the hard reality we are facing. But hey, there is always a solution to every problem, and that is why we are the BuzstopBoys, basically asking you to be a bit more responsible and a bit more loving. Put Ghana in your heart and in your mind, and anytime you are destroying anything Ghana, feel the pain, because you go, another person will come, and there's a need for you and I to protect this environment and leave behind an amazing Ghana for the next generation. This video is not just about telling you anything, it's about pointing a peculiar problem to everybody. It doesn't matter whether you drive Range Rover or you sit in Trotsky or whatsoever. Once it rains, maximum 10 minutes, nobody goes, nobody comes. This is a Vancouver, and this is the journey to unraveling the mystery behind the consistent flooding and why they stagnant water. Now let's go to the other side so we get to see what exactly is happening to the drains that has been constructed to serve as a drainage system for these waters to run, all filled up with sand. Let's go to the far end, and I got more for you. Building road, there is always the anticipation that there will be rainfalls. So this pipe is supposed to collect every water from the highway through this pipe, and then it gets here. Then from here it must run all the way, and then enter the gutters at this point. So you see the dynamics. It gets entered through this gutter, and then it gets into the big hole. But unfortunately, sand here, sand there. The water will come, but it won't go anywhere. These are all part of the reasons why this particular place called Accra barrier floods like hell. So we need to really be proactive and solve this particular problem right here. Remember, we are environmental campaigners in action. I'm pretty sure you can see what is going on. You can see it much clearer here. So this is the drain. This is the drain. There is a drain under that is supposed to carry all the running waters away. But the drain is filled with everything, from sand to trash to everything. So until we put in proactive measures to make sure that the drains are free from sand, this water will always start right here and will continue to give us headache as a nation. Look at that. This is the drain. This is the drain. This is the drain. All filled up with sand. And that is why I have always said that flooding is not natural. Flooding is artificial, and flooding is as a result of deliberate human action causing blockage and contributing to massive floods on our roads. Massive floods on our roads. This is a Accra barrier, and we are still on a journey to unravel the mystery behind the consistent flooding of this very place. This is BuzstopBoys, and this is the starter towards liberating of Accra barrier from flooding. Stay tuned and don't forget to be part of this movement by simply subscribing and be part of this amazing community. This is a community that is safeguarding this planet and protecting the fundamentals of life, which is the earth. We are basically trying to unravel and then find why this place of Accra barrier floods almost every time it rains for maximum 10 minutes. Can't see something. You see this huge drain. This is about 1.2 culvert. Unfortunately, this is supposed to carry all, regardless of the amount of water. This is where they are supposed to go, but it's all filled up with sand and plastics. So the moment the volume of water that is coming is a lot, then it begins to fill up and begins to overflow, and that is why this place floods a lot of the times. A lot of the small drains are all filled up with sand. This is a major contributor to why this place floods. I basically want to show you some of the things, so you know that the next time you hear about flooding at Accra, you know for sure that it's not natural. It's because the drains are blocked, and that is why Accra is flooding. Look at this side also. A very big drain for that matter, but it's almost halfway blocked. All of them halfway blocked, and this is of Accra barrier, and this place floods like hell. Where we end the journey, but this is also one side of the drain out of Accra barrier. But this drain, it goes nowhere. It's a long drain coming, but it ends right here. So regardless of how much water is carrying from the other end, it gets here and the drain ends. So meaning that it has to overflow to the Accra barrier and basically the whole of Accra. So this is the journey so far, telling you or showing you why Accra floods and what needs to be done. We need to begin to connect the gutters here out of Accra, and we need to begin to be more responsible. We cannot be littering anywhere and they think it's normal. It's not. Look at that. This is on a highway, for God's sake. This is Accra-Kumasi Highway, and look at what is happening here. It was not done by president, nor the ministers, nor the assembly. It was done by human beings, aka citizens. And that is why we are always asking you to be more responsible. Be responsible for your actions. Don't throw litter anywhere and they think you are good. Because this is why there is malaria, this is why there is cholera, and what's not. It is time for change. But the change must start here in the mind. Because every problem that we have in this country is in the mind. That is why our big aim is a mindset shift. Stay tuned.